So we've all seen those immensely large clouds wisping up from a crowd or out of the window of a passing car. Vaping, it's all the rage. Fairly new and spreading like wildfire. Originally only sold on the internet, vape shops can be found in every city and town across the United States. But really little is known by people about what they are, how they work, or how they can affect a person. First of all, let's start with what e-cigarettes are. I gained most of my knowledge that I know about them by working in an e-cigs shop, which is a store that specializes in the selling of e-cigarettes. Now, you may ask me, what is an ENDS? An ENDS system stands for Electronic Nicotine Delivery System. They're most commonly referred to as a vapor, an e-cigarette. They usually consist of several components: the batteries to power the e-cigarette, the atomizer to heat the liquid into a vapor, a tank or cartridge to hold the liquid and vape, a mouthpiece that allows the user to safely inhale the vape, and a liquid, which is often referred to as an e-juice or just juice. The juice used in an ENDS system usually contains nicotine, flavorings, and other fillers such as propylene glycol or vegetable glycerin. E-cigarettes first came about in about 1936 when a man named Herbert Gilbert first patented what he called the Favor cigarette. It didn't really take off till about 20 years later when a pharmacist named Han Lick redesigned Herbert's Favor cigarette into what we know as an e-cigarette today. There are hundreds of different brands of e-cigarettes out there, and they come in a variety of shapes and sizes, ranging from the traditional cigarette or cigar look to looking like something out of a futuristic sci-fi movie. Now let me give you a little bit of now that I've given you a little bit of background information about ENDS, let's talk about their popularity, especially among younger people. According to an article from Science News Weekly, sciencenews.org, titled "With Easy e-cig Access, Teen Vaping Up." By 2015, nearly 3 times the number of teenagers were vaping than using traditional cigarettes. And according to a 2015 Monitoring the Future study, 9.5% of American 8th graders, 14% of American 10th graders, and 16.2% of American 12th graders had vaped in the last 30 days. Here's another little known thought. E-cigarettes are actually illegal for minors to purchase. On the Food and Drug Administration's website, you can find a list of rules and regulations surrounding ENDS systems. Some of those rules and regulations regard the fact that stores can't have to ID someone who looks under the age of 27 attempting to buy an ENDS system and is prohibited from selling to anyone under the age of 18. Now, some doctors will suggest people to use ENDS systems to quit using traditional tobacco products, so people perceive them as safe, and they're switching to them more and more every day. But are they really that safe? We can now go over the subject of the effects that they can have on a person's health. Many teens and adults believe that e-cigarettes are safe, or at least safer. While yes, they are safer, they're not 100% safe for a person. The juices in them actually contain harmful products. The most widely known harmful product is nicotine. Nicotine can be very harmful, especially to young people. A report done by the U.S. Surgeon General titled "Know the Risks of E-Cigarettes for Young People" expressed that the part of the brain that's responsible for decision-making and impulse control is not yet fully developed in adolescence. So, the use of nicotine can have long-term, long-lasting effects on the developing brains. Younger people are also more at risk to having nicotine addiction, mood disorders, and permanent lowering of impulse control. The U.S. Surgeon General also warns that even though the ingredients used in ENDS systems are natural ingredients and normally don't harm people, when inhaled in the lungs, they can actually be hazardous. Smoker's cough can happen when using vapes, and smoker's cough is when a person develops a persistent cough that usually lasts longer than a few weeks. Smoker's cough can be really annoying and can also make a person seem like they're always sick. And according to Iona Jaspers, a researcher at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, cells exposed to vapor actually don't heal as quickly as cells that aren't exposed to vapor. And on the FDA's website, there is a list for rules and regulations that will go into effect in 2018. These rules consist of the fact that people will no longer be able to sell ENDS products without labeling them with the health warning labels like what's on traditional tobacco products. And they will no longer be allowed to be advertised without those same regulation or without those same warning labels. So we have explored what ENDS are, their popularity, and some of the possible side effects of using ENDS system. But I encourage everyone to take it upon themselves to figure out what ENDS are and how they can affect their bodies, especially if they're planning on using them to quit smoking or currently using them. It's in the health of everybody. It's in the better health for everybody.